Like I promised when we were talking about isosceles triangles, in this video we're just going to do a quick proof to show that if I've got an isosceles triangle, like this here, that the two angles opposite from my equal sides, I'm going to prove right now that they are always going to be equal. So I'm just given that AB is congruent to BC, and I want to prove the two opposite angles are equal to each other, so that BAC is congruent to BCA. So my first statement, and this time we're not doing a flowchart proof, we're just doing a T-chart proof. My first statement is that, well, line segment AB is congruent to line segment BC, and the reason for that is that it was given. Next, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to draw point D such that it's the midpoint of AC. So I'm just making that construction, and I can do that. Why not? I can find that midpoint, and I can draw a point D. So the reason I'm allowed to do that is I'm constructing it. Next, I'm also going to draw a line segment BD that goes from that top point over there down to D. And the reason I can do that is because I'm just drawing it. I can draw things into my picture as long as I'm not making assumptions about it. Next, I can say, well, if I was able to draw D such that it's the midpoint of AC, well, that means that AD is congruent to DC, and that's just the definition of a midpoint. Finally, I've got, well, BD is equal to itself, BD. And the reason I can say that is my reflexive property. Well, at this point, I've got that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. And the reason I can say that is by side, side, side. Finally, I know that BAC, this little angle right over here, is going to be equal to or congruent to angle BCA, this angle over here, and that's because the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, and that's it. So now I have proven that these two angles are equal, and all I need for that is for these two sides to be equal. So that means if I'm an isosceles triangle, the two base angles over here, the two angles opposite from my congruent sides, are also always going to be equal. We just showed it using this proof right over here.